a true number one, elite number one receiver, I think it's been the Rams this past year with Cooper Cup. Then it's been, I think, a pretty much a drought for the last 20 years. And the last one you'd have to go to is probably Jerry Rice. If you think about it, maybe Terrell Owens, maybe. Randy never won a Super Bowl. Larry Fitzgerald never won. Um, you keep going down the list of all these elite, true number one receivers. They're not.
That won a championship, you're saying?
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not a part of championship teams.
Yeah, well, it's a lot. We talked about this before. I think there's a lot that goes into it. 'Cause there's three levels. Antonio Brown. I mean, Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson. I mean, those guys are always worth paying the full
Yeah, and AB
blank
only won
check.
his Super Bowl later in his career.
Yeah.
Calvin and Julio didn't win. Julio got there, but he wasn't able to. The team wasn't able to get it done.
Mm.
Speaking of AB, did you guys see his quote?
I don't even want to freaking talk about AB.
Did you see the quote?
I
Yeah, I
saw
saw
it.
it.
Oh. How could you not laugh, man? Come on. Like it's ridiculous at this point. That's not my check it up topic. It's just you mentioned AB and that's my first thought.
He set himself up for a brilliant wrestling career if he ever wants something like that.
Oh yeah. And now he has this new dance that he does too.
Yeah, George Pickens hit one of them yesterday, I think.
Did he?
I don't really pay attention to the AB dances, what the lingo is with him nowadays, but yeah, he honored him, and Antonio Brown retweeted it. Look, I love Antonio. I mean, he says some wild stuff. He does some wild stuff, and that was. Do you want to read this? I'm sure if you've been living underneath a rock, I might.
Do you
Yeah,
have it? I can pull it up.
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
My biggest regret. My biggest regret in my career doesn't involve calling my GM. Can I even say this? A cracker, or showing up to Raiders camp late in a hot air balloon with frozen feet, or throwing
What?
rocks at a UPS driver, at that UPS driver, and definitely doesn't involve taking my shirt off and doing a victory lap around the Jet Stadium mid-game while throwing up deuces. Sorry. My biggest regret is I'll never get to see me, Antonio Brown, play a game live. Sure, I can watch the game afterwards, but I can't imagine what that was like for you all to see something like that. Like
First
watching
of
the
all,
Beatles. I'm stopping there. I'm stopping
he is
there.
literally. I'm sorry. He is literally probably the stupidest person that has ever played football. I swear, I put that on my life. I'm so done with this guy. Just the last straw for me was the comments after he basically called out Tom Brady and said Tom Brady was favoring Gronkowski in that one game, and he was trying to stop AB from getting his money. Like AB, really shut your freaking mouth, bro. This guy gave you a shot in the NFL again after you were done, and then you disrespect the owner and Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick on your way out, basically burning all the bridges there. This guy has to, Tom Brady has to literally probably beg Bruce Arians to give you a shot. And then you come on, you play. Tom gets you your money. He gets you the incentives. Tom Brady will get you your money. Look at all the receivers that he's played with. He will get, if you're close to it at the end of the season, he'll get you your money. There's no problem with that. AB is a jackass. He's stupid. He needs to see somebody, talk a psychiatrist, a therapist, somebody, because I still think that the root of the problem was that Vontez Burfict uh, helmet to helmet shot. I tell me I'm wrong because all the problems started after that hit. So it's a mental problem, and this guy really needs help. But he's also saying, if you want to take his word for it, he says it wasn't the hit and he's not mentally ill. All right, if that's the case, then you're just a complete dumbass then. You're ignorant, you're arrogant, and you bit the hand that fed you in Tom Brady, gave you another shot, and then you basically shunned Tom Brady. And then you tried to roll it back a couple of months later on one of the podcasts, I Am Athlete or Pivot or whatever, and say, "Oh no, all love for Tom Brady. Tom Brady gave me my shot. Tom Brady, whatever. Tom Brady let you stay in his home after you were alleged to have sexually assaulted a female, and he let you into his home with his kids and his wife, and you want to come at him?" Bye, Felicia.
I don't mean to laugh. Well, I do. I'm not laughing at what you're saying about Antonio Brown. The way you're wording it was pretty straightforward. A lot of people talk about CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I'm not a medical expert. I'm not a doctor. I won't comment on that. But I do agree. I hope Antonio Brown, he seems to be in a state of distress. I hope he can resolve that in whatever fashion that may be for him, because he is all over the place, you know. So love
Yeah,
AB, great player. I feel like he's always been an amazing story and a, a real I don't know. There's not really much more for me to add. You said it
yeah, no,
all.
it's a real shame. I mean, when you look at it from a football perspective, if AB is on the field without all these headaches, he's probably a top 5 receiver of all time. Definitely was on that pace. And you throw it away, all these off the field actions. It's borderline. It's not even borderline. It's just plain out ridiculous. It's worse than stuff that we've seen from Josh Gordon constantly getting suspended. Uh, this Antonio Brown is it's probably one of the more sad things that you see in the NFL because it's just so much talent, and you throwing it away, just acting like a fool. Really, it's not injuries. Nobody's keeping him off the field but himself.
Just to remind people, if you weren't around, from 2013 to 2018, a 6-year span, he had 9,145 yards, 13 yards per reception, 67 TDs, and nearly 100 yards per game receiving. I think the combination of Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown is the greatest duo I may ever see between a quarterback and a wide receiver. The chemistry, the production, the only thing they didn't have was a Super Bowl because there was no stopping those two with the best running back playing next to them. And like you said, it is a real shame.